Hello computer gamers, this is Insomniac Andrew, or Andrew for short, and we are bringing you another episode of From Dota to League. So, this is the 13th episode, and we are going over Twitch to start things off. There's a first ability that he's got. He can go invisible and gain some movement speed, but unlike Shaco's invisibility, it does not work instantly. And one interesting thing about it is that when he leaves the invisibility, then you'll gain some attack speed for a short amount of time. So that's pretty nice. Just remember there's like a delay. He needs to not be attacking or getting attacked, something like that. No combat for 4 seconds or so, and then he's able to go invisible. I wonder, maybe the delay of 4 seconds or so, it might decrease with level increase. I'm not sure. Well, anyway, it's a neat ability. So there's not much else to say. It scales with your attack damage, obviously, because you're attacking more. But other than that, it doesn't deal damage, no. So moving on. Venom Cask, second ability you can learn. How does this thing work? This is just like a skill shot, I suppose, and kind of looks like. Well, let's watch the video real quick. I want to see something. So, yeah, I'm not sure why that circle persists, to be honest, but it does. Anyway, that's the targeting range. I don't know if it still does that in the current patch. That might have just been like a test thing. It's that way they could screenshot it for the preview. Anyway, so yeah, he can throw it pretty far. I mean, look at that distance. Wow, that's a lot. And then, yeah, it slows. It applies venom, which I suppose is magic damage and like damage over time, something like that. Probably scales with AP. I don't know. Moving on. He wreaks further havoc on poisoned enemies with the blast of his vile diseases. So in this case, I believe he's supposed to use it when he's already attacked something, probably. So like his basic is when he uses basic attacks, it deals true damage each second. So it's like poison damage, and that might be the case with his W. It might also be true damage, but I doubt it. Anyway, so what his basic is dealing some true damage, and his third just probably does more true damage, or could do some magic damage, I don't know. Anyway, whatever the case, it probably scales with the AP. Like, I really wish I knew this stuff, but, like, he was, like, free to play, like, a week or two ago, right? He's not free to play right now, so it's not like I can just check. Although what I could do is I could try watching somebody streaming. The problem is, I don't think he's the most popular champion around, but it wouldn't hurt to take a quick peek at what champions are being played right now. Oh, well, there's one, an ARAM. So, as you can see, there's a custom skin for this guy, so this isn't what he'll normally look like, but doesn't look like a troll skin though, so it's probably, actually it might be his best skin. Might be better than his default. Sometimes they do that. They have champion skins that are better than their default. The Steel Legion Lux skin doesn't look bad, I guess, at least from the splash. But I think I like her default the best. Her Spell Thief looks alright too, although I don't like the way the splash looks. Looks like all the other champs in that game are regular, or default champion models, skins, whatever. So, I guess on ARAM, barrier is going to be a lot better because it mitigates the most amount of damage. Okay, so here we are. Where is Twitch? Better click on it. Look at his abilities. So, his third skill scales with both his attack damage and his damage. The scaling with attack damage is extremely low. But at least there's some scaling. As for this, it just gets. Wait, what is it? I'm confused. Okay, so this ability, first of all, the third, is pretty cool because it deals more and more damage with more targeted attacks. Now I'm guessing. Oh, I wonder if you can buff this by using luminaries. That might be true. Because if you've attacked 3 guys 3 times, that's 9 stacks. So you would say 9 times 35, or in this case, plus 69, because of this extra attack damage. So that's a lot of damage, and it's on a 6.8 second cooldown right now, which is pretty good. Unfortunately, I have to call it champion influence. Otherwise, we can see what his cooldown is. So we get an idea of what the true basic cooldown is. It's not all what else? So the basic does not scaling, just basic. Adds 2 stacks of deadly venom. So it allows you to accelerate when good skill so that's pretty cool. This is interesting because this is what synergizes with his first ability. This allows him to have some extra attack damage. So this pretty much becomes the farthest attack in the game, pretty much. There might be moves that maybe whatever the case, it releases attack pretty hard. So obviously with something like Luminaries, it could be really hard to get away from him. So I think I'm really curious maybe I'll search for some see if anyone's experimented with that. But yeah, pretty interesting. Because I just wonder, does, like, if you poison one guy, like, hit him with your basic attacks 10 times, and then you use Contaminate, those 10 stacks go all the units around, is what I'm trying to figure out. So in that case, you wouldn't necessarily need to hit points and just attack. His invis, which gives him extra physical damage. You are trying to maximize the maybe some generic. Let's get out of this. So, we are back, and trying to say before the game ended there was probably not even important. So let's just move on to the next champion, Zyra. So Zyra is a champion that is kind of strange because, okay, first off, let's go over her second ability, because this is the one that all of her other abilities revolve around. So the last time I played her, I just finally got to understand the basics of how to play her. Like, I've probably played her maybe 4 or 5 times, in total. Not necessarily recently, just every so often when she becomes available, it's free to play. Well, anyways, it's just funny because, well, I don't know exactly how many times I played her, but see, this ability, you have to you treat it like the summoner spell Flash. Like, you point your cursor at a spot and then you press the hotkey for this ability, and that's where the seed is planted. So you don't actually press W and click on a spot, and it's not necessarily, she plants it like in front of her, like I thought would make sense, or it's not necessarily planting on whatever. I didn't know what to think. Like, I'd be like, sometimes it places such a random place, I thought, but eventually I realized, no, it's just planting right where my cursor is. So I'm like, oh wow. So keep that in mind. There's nothing that actually tells you that that's how she does it, but I'm telling you that's how it works. So just knowing that, now it's like you can really begin to learn how to play the champion. It's just ridiculous. So anyways, moving on. If she casts her first ability, and you casted it close enough to some of these seeds, then they will grow and become a creature and attack stuff, basically. It also causes some kind of an explosion, doing some damage. I don't know. It's not that big of a deal, honestly. And then her third ability. This is cool because it can ensnare the target. So when this deals damage, rooting it. And I guess it has a short duration or something. Or maybe not. I don't know. The wording of the tooltip's kind of strange. But whatever the case, you can let's see something here. Okay, so these are two different kinds of creatures she can grow with her first and third ability. So depending on what the seed is. And in this case, it's going to reduce movement speed, and I guess it doesn't attack as far. Okay, so that's important to know. And because this one's a longer range attacker creature that she spawns. So there's that. Now, as for her basic, I don't understand how it works. I'm guessing it's kind of like Kog'Maw, Karthus, or something. Or even like, what's his name? Scion. But I haven't actually gotten to figure out how it works. I've tried using it and it doesn't seem to do anything. It's probably because this time the tooltip says you're supposed to fire towards her cursor. So maybe that's where your mouse is, you shoot it by kind of like with the W. Okay, so And that kind of makes a little bit more sense then. Not a whole lot more sense, but a little bit more. Anyway, yeah, it's really frustrating when it's like an on-death ability and you have a very limited amount of time figuring out how it works. And by the time you figure it out, it's like you've probably died like 10 times. Yeah. I don't think I've died 10 times there yet, huh? Right? I don't know. Maybe I'm just joking around. But whatever the case, it's not that big of a deal. So her ultimate is, I don't even know what it does, to be honest. Okay, so it looks like it's trying to tell us that it happens exactly. No, well, let's watch the video. Yeah, we're gonna watch you for this one. I think this has a really okay, so literally all this thing does is knock them up and deal damage. It does. She can target a fairly large area though, so that's nice. I assume it scales very well with ability power. I think all of her abilities scale with ability power, and that's about it, basically. Except for like her W and basic, obviously. Actually, no, her basic probably would. Except that it does. Well, there's another champion that also has true damage that scales with ability power, but Aurelia is not one of those, for one thing. I was thinking of Cho'Gath, actually. We'll probably do him tomorrow. Anyways, moving on. Vi. Now this is the hang of right away, I guess. She's a lot easier to play than Zyra or Twitch. Yeah, both Twitch and Zyra are pretty complicated and difficult to get the hang of for sure. So, actually, before we talk about Vi, I just want to double check what Twitch's IP cost is. Okay, so it is $31.50. I was gonna say, if he is $13.50, maybe I would consider buying him pretty soon. But $31.50 is still a lot. I think there might be other $31.50 champions I might like better, but I'm not sure. Like I say, you know, difficult to master champions, sometimes they can be really valuable if you actually put forth the effort to master them. Anyways, moving on. So, Vi. Let's go over her basic first, actually, because this is very interesting. So, she actually gets a shield, which I honestly think is more useful than Blitz's basic ability. So, make of that what you will. Let's check it out. So, the thing of it is, she has like a buff. She gets a buff, basically. And I suppose it gets bigger the more time that it comes up, and there's most likely a max that it can be charged up to, depending on whatever level she is. For the value, you know, it only goes up so high. And then that's literally all she has to do is use Q, W, E, or R, and the shield activates. So that's really cool. As for Blitzcrank, to activate his shield, he has to what is he doing? He goes below a certain threshold for health, like 30% or something like that, and then his shield activates, and it scales, so it gets bigger the more mana he has, which is an interesting mechanic. The funny thing of it is, it doesn't last very long, ultimately. Like, if it lasted, like, I don't know, 45 seconds or something like that, then it might be really worthwhile, but it doesn't. I'm not sure how long it lasts exactly, but I'm pretty sure it's, like, less than, like, 10 seconds. It's, like, 8 seconds or something like that at the level 18. I don't know, I could be wrong. But either way, I feel like it could last way longer and be more useful. At any rate, it really doesn't give him much incentive to build mana. Because his other abilities are so much better. And likewise, her basic is so much better. Just because, I mean, you don't have to put forth any effort into it, it just works. So moving on. Her first ability is pretty cool. let's watch the video because a lot of these sound the same to me. Okay, so this is her jump ability, basically, like her regular jump. So, as you might imagine, it's somewhat similar to Varus' arrow that he charges up. In this case, she's charging up her fist, and she jumps forward, so it gives her a lot of mobility, whereas Varus doesn't give himself mobility with that. In fact, he reduces his mobility while he's charging. Of course, in this case, I'm not sure if I think she can charge while she's walking around, but it doesn't show that in the video. She's just standing still. But yeah, whatever the case, it's pretty helpful because she can go pretty far with it. And of course, there's a knockback, so there's that bit of a disable. And then get a stack of denting blows. So what's denting blows? It grants her attack speed, so that's pretty helpful. Help her to beat people up pretty good. It also deals some bonus damage. Most likely scales with her attack damage. I guess it's just a passive ability, huh? Maybe you can toggle it. Maybe not. With Varus, it's just online.
Piltover's finest.
Yes, I mean, there doesn't seem to be much to it. I don't think there's an active. If there was, the clip would probably mention something about it, or the video would have another clip. Moving on. Third ability. Now this is a really fun one. I remember this one is kind of like you activate it and then it alters your basic attacks. So in this case it gives her some AoE and allows her to have quite a bit of range too. It reminds me of Miss Fortune's first ability, but in this case I feel like hers is way better. So I mean, if I were to choose between Vi and Miss Fortune, I'd pick Vi every time. And you know, she's just really solid, well-balanced champion. I feel like she doesn't have a lot of weaknesses, unfortunately, so she might be a little bit overpowered, but there are a lot of champs like that, especially the ones that cost more and more IP. Might as well check out the video because it's kind of interesting. So as you can see, you know, that first and fourth attack were just regular ones. The second and third were charged up ones. I think she didn't have any points in her denting blows in that video. So if she did, she would have been attacking faster. And then I think it's a short duration that she's able to do it, perhaps, or maybe it's only like 3 attacks or something like that. Or it might be more number of attacks as you level it up. There's probably 2 at level 1, 3, 4, 5, 6. As you level it up, I think is probably how it ranks up. Anyways, moving on. Her ultimate. Now this is her crowd control ability. So you kind of think of it a bit like Warwick's ultimate, because it's like some really hard crowd control you can't even cleanse out of. I don't know why they don't just buff cleanse. Cleanse is a really good summoner spell, but it could be so much better. Anyways, moving on. Let's watch this because this is really cool. So did you check that out? It kind of reminds me of Beastmaster's ultimate because it shoves those others aside. Of course, in Beastmaster's ultimate, it doesn't actually damage them like she does. So she's really crazy with her strength. In fact, I didn't even realize she could push them so far away. That's crazy. But anyways, it's a really long range ability, like further range than Warwick's ultimate from the looks of things. And so there's a knock up, and then it's a really long one. So it's just like, because it's a knock up, you can't get out of it. So that's why it's kind of like Warwick's ultimate. It's not called suppression, but it's basically the same thing. It's like, yeah, whatever. Pretty messed up. Really overpowered. So, and you know, that probably scales on both her attack damage and her ability power, but I really wouldn't know for sure. Anyway, not really big deal, one way or the other. And that's today's champions. So I can't remember what I went over before, but I don't think we gone over Cho'Gath. So we go over him. Maybe let's go over Quirky too. And then let's go over Alistar. Why not? Wait, no, I don't want to go over Alistar. Screw that. Okay, we do Cho'Gath. Okay, you know what? This week I'm gonna play Easy Real and Aatrox by today and tomorrow. So we're gonna do Easy Real, Aatrox, and Cho'Gath. Those are the ones we're gonna do. So pretty sure I haven't done any of them yet. Yeah. So that's for tomorrow, and that'll be episode 14 coming up. So look forward to that, guys. I'll see you next time.